Oh, flipping X. Stop saying Doctor Who. I'm going to... Oh, it's doing my nut. People might be surprised that we know what 2001 A Space Odyssey is, because it came out before the year 2000.
I thought it came out in 2001. Sorry. Yeah. It was a very optimistic idea of what the world would be like in 2001, wasn't it?
Very optimistic.
Like, oh yeah, we're all living in space.
But that's an interesting discussion, isn't it? That when you watch films from like that era, or like that era, or earlier, or kind of maybe the 70s, the way they depict the future is always a bit like that. So there's incredible advances in technology, etc., etc. Whereas there's a point, I don't know when it happens, but there's a shift. Whereas now, when things depict the future, they tend to be this sort of dystopian landscape, kind of, where technology has crushed people, and it's a real swing. There is a bit of a theme. Like, I mean, obviously there are still outliers, but
that's a really good point. Yeah,
we have no optimism for the future now.
yeah. I'm Thomas, and I'm joined by
Paul, glass half Paul.
I feel like that was good. That was good waffle, so I wanted to include that.
Fair enough.
So we're doing a different order this time. Straight in with stodgy waffle, and then introducing ourselves. So welcome to the Shallow Proclamation.
Stodgy waffle sounds like just something you don't want to Google. Like
that's the phrase Adam Buxton uses on his podcast, isn't it? It's like, good chat. Welcome to the Shallow Proclamation.
It's what Adam Buxton says. Welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. That's brilliant. I didn't know we'd made it that far and wide yet.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say now. Shall we watch part 2?
Yeah.
Of what's this story called?
War Machines.
Okay, no, that's one thing I was going to say. So obviously, it's a story about AI, which we think is quite ahead of its time, because I can't think of too much in the way of films before 66 that I know of that explored the idea of AI. Obviously, we've had a lot since. But I think the fact it's called The War Machines is an indication that it's not going to go especially well.
All right, Sherlock, in your wine palace.
It's they always want to get control of the military, don't they? AI. It's never like, oh, we're going to feed the world.
That's very true.
We're going to get the nuclear access codes.
Never just orders lots of things on Amazon Prime.
I'll have a Welsh rarebit, please, with a poached egg on top.
So the computer's become sentient, and all it's done is binge watch the entire series of The Only Way Is Essex.
Binge watches The Shallow Proclamation and then kills itself. I like that symbol. It's clearly significant.
It looks like a little person's legs.
Very short legs. Someone kneeling. Or maybe looking down on someone's legs, like seated on a chair.
Oh, we forgot to talk about this last time. Well, in the recap, in the kind of review at the end of the episode. Like the bit of typography there. We've not really seen that before, have we?
No.
I don't think.
I presume the symbol is a W for Votan.
Yes.
It's not actually someone's legs.
No. It's a double meaning.
Literally.
War machines must be built immediately.
Yeah, look, straight in there. There's no hanging about. What's interesting is, so the computer's taken control of them, but they still kind of have their personalities. I mean, this guy's gone a bit vacant, but this main guy is kind of just himself, except he's doing the will of the computer.
Yes.
Like, they're not speaking in really weird...
But they don't look at each other.
Oh, man. That's true. Yeah. Loss of human contact.
No.
top priority is to enlist Doctor Who.
Oh,
Stop
He
it!
has
Stop it!
oh,
which
it's
is
not called Doctor Who.
Doctor Who must be in
No!
to our services tonight.
Stop doing it! Stop doing it!
They're rubbing salt in the wound.
How did they let go? How did someone let that get through?
Look, loves, I
That's my
really am
question.
sorry about your
Surely there was a
film
script
falling
editor
out, but
who
I've
went,
got to
nope,
lock up now. You can
not gonna
hang away
happen.
from the door if you like.
Yes, a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
I think
Did you like the
we'll go
title I
with
did
this.
for the
I'd
recent
rather
release
not
on our
film
channel?
if you don't mind. We have got a license
something
to
like,
film. Well, we must do something.
Does the future
I
look
must
like the
start filming
past?
hospitals.
Doctor Who
Oh,
knows.
Chaplet, Dodo Chaplet.
So I suppose that's playing on the phrase "Who knows," putting Doctor Who.
I've been round the corner, but you've been hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's been
and
one
that's
battle.
interesting. So Dodo's kind of undercover now.
Some old friends. I just popped along to see them.
Oh.
Was I really that long?
Indeed you were. You didn't tell me about your friends.
What
and
do
how
you
did they
call
know that
someone
you
who
might be
doesn't
here?
have a body or a nose?
Oh, it's a long story.
I don't know.
I'm sorry if you're
Nobody
worried.
Well, I
knows.
sincerely hope so. And by the way, my child, Sir Charles Summer and his family have asked us to pay a visit. So if you'll excuse us, I think we'd better be off.
Yeah, well, I think I ought to get some kip too.
Yes, I suppose you didn't...
The thing about working with Paul is that if you make a pun, that for the first episode of a new story we watch, he'll groan at any puns you make.
Oh, yes.
By the second one, he's the one making.
Joining
Well,
in.
that's very helpful of him, I thought.
Right, where to, Governor?
Eh? Oh,
Governor.
Here, now look, give him that, my dear.
This week I'll be playing the role of London stereotype.
All right, off you go, off you go, off you go.
I'll see you all then.
Yeah, because where's Doctor Who being made at this stage? Where are their studios?
Oh, in London.
They are in London, yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
Ealing and studios
Yeah, all
and
right.
places like
I'm
that.
no Deb's delight, you know.
I can see that.
Yeah, good night, Doctor.
So it's quite refreshing that they stereotype even their own people. They offend everyone, basically. Should we spend the beginning of the next story talking about Terminator 4?
Each worker stand by, there is a warning.
Yes, let's.
He is in north section of the warehouse bearing 270 degrees behind cover. He is a danger to us. He must be destroyed.
Who on earth would just be like, ah, yes, I know where to find him in the warehouse. He's at bearing 27 degrees. That's an obvious description for me. Like,
Yeah. I guess they're more machine than man now.
Well, all right, live and let live. I'll find another place to doss. Night all.
Oh. What?
Tramp found dead in Covent Garden.
Yes, 3 o'clock. That must have been after we left him.
well, it wasn't going to be before you left him, was it?
But you
But-
see, which he left in Covent Garden.
The police aren't sure if it was a street accident.
Yeah, yes, it is possible, of course.
Well, what else?
So this guy is innocent, right? He didn't know that the computer would do this.
Be able to give me a little
seem to.
advice on a very real problem.
The computer has kind of developed its own sentience and,
Seems to have, yeah.
Both of them in my faculty.
well, I say sentience.
Yes, I
This is a
see.
great debate, isn't it? Can AI...
No reason given at all, is there?
No, that's the strange thing. Now,
Be
these are
sentient.
two of the best men in England.
Nice.
No, I don't suppose it would.
Coffee?
No, thank you.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
I love how he said that.
Good morning.
Coffee?
Coffee.
Late. Late what for?
Oh, for work.
Late what for?
If you'll just show me where your secretary does work, I'll
What
take
do you mean
over.
late for what? What is he?
I don't quite understand.
Late what
Major
for?
Green told me to
Late
come
what
straight
for?
round here at once, as Professor Brett didn't want me this
What's
morning.
late
My
for?
secretary was ill.
My secretary
Right,
was
it's
away.
like Yoda.
On earth, Brett knew. Still, I've been
What for late?
Very grateful for your help. The office is through.
Just to guess, Paul, might be wrong about this, but that machine we saw earlier with the arms, was that a war machine?
A war machine. Yes, I believe so. Well, yes, it
Almost
is.
looked like a cube-shaped Dalek, didn't it?
Well, I think there was, yeah, they were trying to
You are needed.
create another thing that might be as good as the Daleks, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's ever deemed to be as successful as the Daleks, but you know, we'll see what you make of it.
Yeah. Is this the first episode we've had where you can't trust the companion?
I think I remember. I was speaking to Professor Brett, and
Yeah, maybe.
all of a sudden there seemed to be
Can't think of
an
anything off the top of my head.
explosion. It very nearly knocked me off my feet. It was as if...
What, Doctor?
It was as if something
I suppose
enormous and
Susan
terrific was
in
trying to absorb me.
Edge of Destruction
Mm,
and Ian and Barbara all went a bit
Oh,
mad, didn't they?
yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous
That's true.
child, isn't it?
Dodo's just standing there like, he's on to us. What do I do? Cannot compute.
Yes, it's just as I thought. She's been hypnotized. Sit in that chair, my dear. Now, I want you to repeat after me. My name is Dodo Chaplet.
My name is Dodo Chaplet.
I resist all attempts to change me into somebody else.
I resist all attempts to change me into somebody else.
Now, I'm going to start counting. And when I've counted up to 5, you will be fast asleep. And when you wake again, you will forget all about this distressing incident. Now I'm going to start counting. Just look at that ring on my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I think she'll sleep for 48 hours. And when she wakes, I want absolute peace and quiet for her. Do you understand?
Sure, she's all right.
Oh, yes, she's all right.
She could go down to my house in the country. My wife will look after her.
Yes. It's a very fine thing. Yes, and take care of her, won't you?
Indeed I will. Polly, will...
I think someone turned on the dial-up connection.
Yeah.
Bleeping. Is it because it's swearing?
Destructive weapons to be
Yeah.
fitted and tested.
The war machines are just these incredibly foul-mouthed robots. If the computer can take control of humans, why has it built
Distance
these
check 30 feet.
machines?
Elevation 5 feet.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'm sure it, no, I'm sure, why
Maybe they-
am I questioning the show? I'm sure it will all make sense.
Ready to... Test satisfactory. Effective at 30 feet.
Did it just kill him?
Yeah.
Oh, nice Dutch angle there. Crash
Humans are
zoom.
just disposable.
This is very out there in the way it's been filmed, isn't it?
A lot of camera movement, isn't there?
Yeah.
He says
Which
as they
helps,
cut to a static shot.
Of a baking tray.
It's ice cubes. But...
Makes or fondant fancies.
Oh, flippin' X. Stop saying Doctor Who. I'm gonna steal my nut.
We must be ready to destroy.
You know, that's what I say every morning when I wake up.
What?
Turn to my wife. We must be ready to destroy.
Excuse me, sir.
That's so
Just, you
weird.
know, to face the day.
Is there something wrong?
Get
Where's
ready to
Dodo?
She's a
destroy.
little under the weather. and
Must
she's
be
gone to
ready.
the country for-
Yeah, it's cool to see what life was like in the 60s, isn't it? I suppose you were very, very young at this point.
What I always find interesting is when you can go to places, like you see something like this from the 60s, and you can go to it today and you can see bits that are still the same, or where, you know, how things, you know, what's endured and what hasn't.
Test satisfactory. Stand
Yes.
by for sight
You can
test.
kind of get a sense of why the war machines were perhaps not as successful as the Daleks.
Yeah. Why has a hyper-intelligent computer built a machine with a sledgehammer on it?
Movement test.
Surely
War
you do
machine
away.
smash!
Surely the point of AI is that you do away with machines entirely. It does look quite cool.
It's very. There is a sort of. I'll tell you what it reminds me of design-wise, just the shape of it. You know, in Star Wars Episode 1, those
Yes.
those
Yes.
ones that float, like the gun turrets for the droids.
Yeah, I think I was actually thinking similar lines actually. Or a little bit like Wall-E.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Oh, that was a very sudden end. Didn't feel like we quite ramped up to the ending there.
Yeah.
It sort of happened.
Okay, War Machines Part 2. What did you make of that, Paul? Sorry, I feel like I've trodden on your toes again.
I mean,
I love you.
You do well to not get on the wrong side of a man who wakes up in the morning and says, "We must be ready to destroy." So,
Yeah.
what did I think of that? Yeah, I've enjoyed it again. Actually, it's it is good. There's, like you say, there are some, maybe the War Machine itself. They're not going to go down. They don't. I don't think they go down as a classic. Really, they come across a bit silly and.
Well, it's a very cumbersome thing, isn't it? It's more like a car in a way. You don't really like a Dalek.
Tank.
You can have a conversation with and a relationship with as a viewer.
All right,
and
Thomas.
The characters into
what you get up to with your Dalek in your own time is entirely up to you. It's very. You're right. It's a very clunky design, isn't it? It's not sleek like a Dalek.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could see why it wouldn't have taken off as well as the Daleks did. And also it makes a really annoying noise.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Just like the dial-up modem going on continually. But I am enjoying it, and I like Hartnell in it. Hartnell's doing a great job. He's really just the Doctor, isn't he? You know.
I was thinking that. I thought that scene when Dodo was hypnotized was really well done, because you just got a sense that he was like a safe pair of hands and he kind of knew what to do. And he was like, he diagnosed that she was hypnotized and it's like, wow, that's pretty good observation. And then he knew exactly what to do, or at least suspected what could be done. And actually being a doctor in a way, bringing healing to someone is a cool quality to see him develop, even if they do call him Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's really, really very grating when that happens. But yeah, I mean, we kind of commented on the setting before about it being in London, but again, the sort of warehouse setting as well is quite good. The bit with the tramp. There was some interesting shots in that, like as well, like with when the tramp was being surrounded by the guys, you had them all sort of almost from his POV coming towards him at one point, as they formed that semicircle. But then you also had shots which were from quite a distance, like and up high and down towards it. And then there were some very close-up shots of him talking, and and actually they were very tight, like on his face. Which I don't think we don't see a lot of super close-ups like that. You might see the top of someone, the top from maybe the shoulders and chest up. But that one is very much just the head in those shots. I don't know why that stuck out to me, but
no, that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that.
Maybe it was something to do with, because I don't know, I felt quite sorry for him, He's just an innocent character who's, we've not really had a chance to get to know in any way. But maybe that tight close-up on his face, maybe it helps to convey, a sense of, emotion. You can see his reactions, and maybe that makes the viewer identify with them more and feel something more about him. I don't know, but...
that's a really interesting thought. Yeah,
it might be complete nonsense, but...
No, well, you said it with enough conviction that I believed you. So,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I can believe that you're a man that gets up every morning and says to your wife, "Let's destroy."
Yes, we must be ready to destroy. We don't just do it every day, Thomas. We just need to be ready, right?
And then you go down, you pour your muesli, and you're like,
oh dear.
Yeah, and the only other thing I will say is I'm just intrigued to see what the point of the War Machines is. I mean, okay. I kind of like them. I like how they are. It is kind of an early Terminator in a way, isn't it? The AI kind of Skynet equivalent, which is the W. What's it called?
Wotan.
Wotan.
Some of them pronounce it Votan, but it is Votan. With the W. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so I like the idea of the presiding kind of AI then builds machines to do its bidding. But I'm just, yeah, if you can take control of humans and hypnotize them to do your will, surely that's more effective than building this incredibly clunky, slow moving. It's
Yeah.
like at that point, the AI would surely go, I've mucked up here, haven't I? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It does seem a strange choice now you say that. So yeah, well, I guess we maybe have to see how they're utilized more in the
Yeah,
next couple
I
of
mean, in
episodes. I
terms of
can't
doing
remember, so
heavy, yeah, in terms of doing heavy lifting, like with that sledgehammer, I guess robots can build things faster than humans and stuff. So actually, maybe it does make sense. But from what we've seen them do so far, it's kind of
yeah,
they're just a bit
questionable.
rubbish.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, yeah, anyway, there we go. Still, I've enjoyed it, so good. Should we wrap that there?
Certainly.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks very much. Let us know what you think. Oh, easy now. And we'll see you for episode 3. Bye bye.
Goodbye.